I have a science experiment for you, if you'll permit me. This is my thumb. Useful in its own right, especially given its opposable design, but otherwise unremarkable. However, if I place it like so, it instantly becomes part of a $3 million piece of equipment. Now I realize it might shock you, but this review is not in fact about my thumb, but rather about its new friend here. This is the Bugatti Chiron. So the question is, how does a vehicle possibly make itself worth $3 million? Well, you see, that's what my thumb and I are here to find out. Let's start with the name. The Bugatti Chiron shares its name with Louis-Alexandre Chiron, a Monegasque racing driver who competed in rallies, sports car races, and Grand Prix in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. Yeah, it was a long racing tenure. In fact, he's the oldest driver ever to have raced in Formula One at 55 years of age. The Chiron makes gobs of power, thanks in part to a massive W16 engine, but also thanks to some twin-stage turbochargers. Now, while most cars use one or maybe even two turbos, the Chiron demands 4 of them. Developed in-house, these turbos are 68% larger than those in the Veyron. They are also ranged in 2 pairs, the first pair being responsible for torque between 0 and 3,800 RPM, and the second pair joining in for the remainder all the way up to the 6,500 RPM rev limit. So while most of the elements of the Bugatti Chiron are all about lightweight construction, almost to absurd lengths, one piece is not. This is a piece of silver. It's embossed with the Bugatti logo on it, and it weighs 155 grams. I don't know the math on that, I'll let you do it, but it's kind of cool that they said, no, this is about style and this is about the look and feel of the car. Who cares that it weighs a little more? The Chiron has an astounding 10 radiators. You could say things get hot at 261 miles per hour. To make sure this car doesn't overheat, the coolant pump circulates 211 gallons of water through the engine every minute. In other words, the Chiron is moving either a very generous bathtub or a small jacuzzi of water through the engine every minute. Now to the most defining design trait of the new Chiron. It's this C shape that you see in the side profile, over the engine compartment, and in the center cockpit divider. Now, where did that come from? Well, Bugatti's founder, Ettore Bugatti, had a particular signature that accentuated his E that almost looked like a C. So they got it from that, or maybe they also got it from the Type 57 SC Atlantic of the 1930s, and obviously C, Chiron. Cool. In keeping with the elegant C design theme of the car, Bugatti installed this light bar that runs the spine of the C that divides the center cockpit here. Of course, it isn't just any light bar, it is the largest light conductor ever fitted to a production vehicle. Oh, and speaking of glowing things, this continuous LED taillight here may just seem like a cool design element, but headlights and taillights are highly regulated by the US government. In order for Bugatti to get this bad boy approved, it had to be considered a single lamp that occupied at least 60% of the surface width. The thing about the Veyron is that people respected it for its top speed and for its acceleration, but they never really considered it a corner car for a good handling vehicle. This car is different though. They've spent a lot of time stiffening the chassis, going over with a fine-tooth comb the suspension and the bushings and the brakes and the steering system. This is an electronic steering system with 7 ECUs, 7 algorithms that it's fine-tuning at all moments to make sure that the steering is behaving exactly how you would expect it to, so it doesn't feel like it's artificial in any way. In terms of how the car feels in corners, we're not doing anything extraordinarily aggressive today when it's damp out, but you can feel the car's willingness, and that is something that is so important as a driver. You want to know that the car is willing to behave how you would like it to behave at any given moment. The Bugatti Chiron is ready to respond. So how about this interior? You expect it to be beautiful, right? But in reality, it's far more than that. It's the details. Bugatti has a saying, right? What you see is what you get, right? So if you look at any piece that looks like it should be metal, that's metal. And that's on every exterior and interior component. What that means for the driver, though, is that all the things that they interact with have this sense of specialness to them. Their refinement, their craft. It's all for you. I've got a nice stretch of road in front of me. The traffic's cleared a bit. I'm gonna notch it down a gear, sitting around 2,500 RPM, foot to the floor. That could become addicting. Besides all of the air escaping my lungs, the car just, it surges. It absolutely surges forward. Instantly, I can feel the capability of this car to reach that 200 and some odd mile per hour top speed. It feels like it's just getting warmed up. That's insane. Another thing I realize when I launch the car forward is the noise the car makes. So yes, low down in the RPM, it's got a deep bellow. I mean, there's 16 cylinders firing away back there. But as you get into the power band, what you hear is not weird exhaust noise. Not weird, but sort of played out exhaust noise where they chuck extra fuel down the exhaust manifold and let it snap and overrun all that stuff, which is cool in its own right. But it's not what this car does. This car has a mechanical noise. So you're hearing all four of those turbos whir away, the pressure of the air being sucked in and expunged to the wastegate. How do you quantify something like this? Like what is this car in a world of fast cars and track cars and luxury cars? What is it? It's sort of the best of everything, right? And that's not a cop-out. I'm not just trying to cop out and say that it's just the best of everything. It really is. It is a wonderful grand touring vehicle. I'm perfectly comfortable right now on both rough roads and smooth. The way that it handles it, steering isn't heavy, it's not a labor. Cruising at speed, it's not chattery, the gear shifts are smooth. And yet, there isn't a thing, and I can almost never say this driving a car. There is not another car out here on the road that I'm ever gonna encounter that will be faster than this car is, right? That's a ridiculous piece of knowledge to have. I have trouble putting in words the sensation that I have driving something as capable in all the different facets as the Bugatti Chiron. So in summary,